Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Soul to Soul, where we do soul work to increase your soul force. What is your soul? Your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. Your mind is your thought center. Your will is your choice center, and your emotions is your response center. This month is a Black History Month, and so we'll be having episodes on here to kind of honor the legacy of those that came before us, and then just to show how the next generation is continuing to move it forward. And so we're going to talk to one of those young people who is moving it forward. I want to introduce to you and welcome our guest, Miss Damore Davis. I refer to her as the culture. She is one of the leading members of the Hope and Future Blueprint team. And I brought her here to talk about a topic because of the work that her and her sisters have done for her daughter. Probably when my daughter was about 3 years old, I noticed that my daughter was not really liking her skin. Not necessarily her skin, but I know she would pick out white dolls over black dolls. And even when she had black doll, she would pick out the lighter skinned doll over hers. And I was like, wow. So this doll experiment thing is really true. This doll experiment that was done back in 1939, it was called the Clark doll experiment, where they put white dolls and black dolls and see which one people preferred. And even back then it was happening, and today it's still happening. So I was on a mission to get more positive influences of Black people in front of my daughter. And these young ladies, including Miss Damore, have done an excellent job. And so, Miss Damore, why don't you say hi to people, tell them who you are.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Damore Davis, and I have done the isolated snippets. And I'm here because, like Tony said, I am the culture. I'm here to change the young women and young men, just anybody who isn't confident in their self or their culture. They may not know. We can all learn together. We can grow together. Maybe there's some things about myself that I'm still not there yet with, but as far as the confidence, I'm here for it. From your hair to maybe makeup to just your personality and all, I'm here.
Yes, that's good. Yes, Miss Damore, Miss Ashley, Beauty Highlights, Dialogue with 3D, Soul to Soul. We do not do interviews, we do conversations, because we just want to have conversations and talk about things that impact people's souls, and how do we do this soul work to improve our lives and to increase our strength and impact in the community. So, Ms. Damore, I'm going to start it off with a question for you. When you hear the words "be brave," what do you think about? When you think about your life and you overcome your fears. So, what do you think about when you hear "be brave"?
Like you said, I do think about overcoming my fears when I hear "be brave." Be brave means to do things that maybe might not be in your comfort zone. Just because it's not in your comfort zone doesn't mean that you can't do it. So be brave is basically just to push you and to tell you that, hey, I know you can do it. So I want you to be brave and get out there and do it. That's what it means to me.
Right. Yeah, that's the one thing I try to tell people: be brave. Courage, be brave, being brave. It's not the absence of fear. It is doing what you want to do in the presence of fear. So it's just like not allowing the fear to stop you, because fear is going to try to come up for everybody, and that's the thing I want people to, it's not like you have a problem because fear is like trying to tell you not to do something. Everybody has it. Some people just let it stop them, and others just say, I'm going to do it anyway. And then once you do it, you're like, oh, okay, that wasn't that bad. So tell me, like when you hear what I said about my daughter, and at 3 years old, it was starting for her. Think about back to your childhood. Like, how was it for you growing up?
I can definitely say that was a factor, but not as much as the doll thing. Like I always had a variety of dolls, and the first doll I always picked was we had brat dolls then. So I picked Sasha. She was a darker complexion. Yasmin, she was like any mixed kid, but the only doll I never got was Chloe. And I always thought that the parents, when I was growing up, of the kids, maybe were like, well, she's black, so let's not say she needs a white doll. They were trying to change it. But then at me as a kid, I was like, I wanted that doll. So at 18 years old, I got that doll because I wanted that doll.
Right, right.
And but I mean, it still does happen to kids now. I see it all the time where kids don't even look at their own skin color for the doll because what is advertised isn't that. They are getting a little bit better at it, but like you said, it's still there.
Right, right. So you think about like elementary, middle school, high school, like did you have issues, any type of uh racial issues, like for instance, for me one time, like now I'm a boy, I'm a man, but in high school, some this girl, because back in high school, okay, I'm bald right now, but back in high school, I have my waves going, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
and, and she started rubbing my hair like, how do you do that? Oh, hey, do you get your hands off my head? And,
Oh,
you got to be fair.
I
So,
know.
you have some stuff like that back in high school.
Um, yeah, mine was more so I was more darker in high school, so I was the dark kid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it didn't bother me because that's what we did. We joked around, haha.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but as far as my hair, once I got to know about it, don't touch my hair. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
That was me all the way. Like, especially if like I got a fresh curl in it, don't touch it. It'll fall real easy. Just leave it alone. Just look. Like I had friends that like to touch. Don't leave me alone.
Right.
So yeah, I could feel you on that one.
Right, right, right. Oh man. So one of the things you were talking about, um, when we talked about being brave, overcoming your fears, and you said, so like, can you think back, like, when did this quote unquote fear start for you? I mean, it's like, okay, when we talk about fear, it ain't necessarily got to be some real deep thing, but
Mhm.
the thing that makes you hesitate to do what you want to do. Like for you, is that what fear is? Is that what, like, the hesitating, or what? When you're talking about overcoming the fear, what did you have to overcome?
So I can say the first time I probably had it when I was a kid too, but
Mm-hmm.
when I realized it, I would have to say was during sport. Um, I would always push myself and I would go hard and whatever I did because I wanted to do good. Because there was kids that did sports that since they were like 5 and I was just getting into it by high school. So I would always push myself and I had coaches tell me all the time, a learnable student is better than someone that thinks they know everything. So I was like, okay, great. I'll just push as hard as I can. But then when someone was better than me and I had to go against them, that fear would kind of get in the way. And I'd be like, oh, they're better than me. I'm not going to be able to guard them for basketball, or I can't do this. Like, and then my coach would come up and be like, well, you just demonstrated fine. So I think you can do it. So for me, that's where it started, was in sports. And then it went over to my career, cosmetology. I was confident in it until I took my state boards and the written test I didn't pass. I missed it by like 5 points. And then it just got me in the muck. Like I was just like I had the highest score in the class. I was doing good. I scored really well. And then when I took the actual test, I didn't get it. So I'm like, I gotta go back. I gotta go back. Everyone's like, I'll help you. I'll pay for it. I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it by myself. But I just think that was my fear getting in the way and trying to just use any type of procrastination to not do it.
Mm-hmm.
So then that came, and then it became where it was like, now I have to do everything all over again because I let that fear get in front of me. So really, fear did teach me a good lesson. So
Right, right.
yeah.
Yeah. That's. I mean, even how you talk about tests, because like in school, I had real good grades. So I think I graduated like a 3.6, 3.7. But when it came time for the ACT, what did I do? ACT, SAT, I can't remember, whatever one. I passed, but I got like a 21. And my counselor, he was like, Tony, you only got a 21. I was like, hey man, I passed. I mean, 21 ain't bad, that's good.
Yeah.
He was like, Tony, you could have got it higher. I was like, no, because I'm not test taking is not my thing. Like the
Mine
class
either.
where I can get really good, but test taking is not that thing. And so when you think about like stuff how you just said, like when you look back on it now and you let it stop you, like what do we say to young people now, even because somebody's going through it right now, what you going through, and they didn't do as well as they thought they should do, and then somebody else came and was like, oh, why did you do it like this? So how, like, what was the thing that finally got you to first admit it, and like admitting it doesn't make you bad, right? What was the thing that got you even to say, okay, I was kind of scared right there, but now let's go.
Well, one is my sister. And I'd say two would have to be you, because when we started off, my sisters were always testing me, like, you can do it. I see what you do. Your work is good, but I'm just like, okay, that's family. Like, they're
Right,
supposed to say that.
right.
And then I did Evan's hair, and you guys are like, now that art, that's work. I see what you're doing. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I do, got a little tail in there. And then it just started to grow from there. And as we kept working together, I started to see more and more and more of what I needed to be doing and what I wasn't doing. I was always scared to admit failure because I hated to fail.
Right,
so,
right,
um, so once I got over that hump, it's a lot better now.
right.
So I can definitely say, just people trying to push you, that doesn't always help, because you hear it over and over again, but you're just like, yeah, okay, like whatever. Sometimes it just takes that one person that like you may not even know at all to be like, you did that? That's like great. Or like, you should keep doing that. You're really good at it. To be like, oh, maybe I really am. And I just never seen it for myself. So that's what I think.
Yeah. No, that's good. See, that's why we in soul to soul, because oftentimes when church and stuff like that, we only talk about this spiritual aspect, where we say just pray about it, and well, yeah, you do. That's good, but now that only helps you recognize that there is a fear there. But now you got to do the soul work, the mind, the will, and the emotions to see what's going on in there. Where is this? Is this just in my mind? Am I thinking right? Is it in my will? I don't have the desire to try to overcome it. Or is it in my emotions? Like, is it messing up with me emotionally? And for you, what was that like? Was it your mind? Was it your will? Was it your emotions? And, as we talked, and that's what I was like, as I was getting to know you better and listening and watching you, that's what was going through my head. Which one is it? Is there mind? Is there will or the emotion? So I know the right approach to take, with you. Because when it's somebody's will, that just means they don't have the desire or willpower to do it. And that can often be confusing, because sometimes people don't do things and you think it's just their will. And a lot of times it's not. I didn't think that was you. It wasn't your will. Even though you wouldn't do things, I didn't think it was that you didn't have a desire to do it. And so then I was like, emotions, is there emotions off? Usually emotions happen when there's a significant event in your life, and it just gets you angry, or it gets you sad and gets you low. right? And so I said, nah. I said, I think she got something in her mind that has made her think she can't do this.
Mhm.
And so doing the work now to just get out of your mind that I can do this, like one failure does not equate to nothingness, right? And so, as you now, okay, now you recognize that it's the fear and you're starting to, slowly but surely overcome it. Like now, what do you see for the future for you?
Well, um, I see me owning my own salon. I see me teaching others, um, whether it be me on a podcast, me actually in a class with other students teaching them hair products. But I just feel like some way I need to be teaching others. I do like
Mhm.
to be the boss, but
Mhm,
besides
mhm,
that, I just I just look forward to basically making my own schedule. So like if I'm the boss, I can make my own schedule. I could be in the shop doing hair one week, the next week I could be devoting my time to my podcast with the kids or adults or whoever I'm reaching out to, whoever needs to hear what I'm saying. Then I'll be there to say, "Hey, it's okay. Like, what are you doing today? Did you accomplish your goal this week? Whether it's a big goal or a little goal, just something towards it will count. Don't let people rush you, but don't take too slow where a door opens for you and you don't walk through it. Because that happened to me too a lot of
mhm,
times.
mhm.
So I would just say, in my future, I see that.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, see, that's one of the reasons why I call you the culture. Because when you walk into a room, something shift. And it's not that you come in there loud. It's not that you do that, but it's just something in your spirit that says, I can change and transform this into something powerful. And that's just something that's a gift from God. That it ain't something you got to try to do. It's just there. It just happens. Now the question is, how do we get your soul to get in line with your spirit? Because that thing that shifts the culture is your spirit that's coming in the room and setting the tone. Now you got to say, I am the boss. Right? So you come into a room, I'm the boss. A boss don't mean that I'm going to tell everybody this is how it is, this is how it. No, I'm going to show you how it is, and then anything that is not in line with it, I'm going to shift it. And so now, okay, you a boss, right? You're a culture shifter. And so when somebody sits down in your chair, right? Because you said you want to be a teacher too, right? So thinking about the chair as not just when you're doing somebody's hair, because that's one thing, but even when they're sitting down on the chair or the video to watch you, um, what do you want people to see, to learn um, about the hair or about themselves? Like, what are things that when you think about the beauty industry, what what is things that like say, I want to change that, or you want to see different?
Well, gotta give a shout out to Tori because she's already started it.
Mm-hmm.
The natural beauty products because yeah, they're out there, but now they're out there just to say, "Oh, you don't have a product? Here's a black face.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a here's a product for you." And then you use it and you're like, that ain't doing nothing for me. Not it. So I definitely would say promote 100% natural hair products. I know not everybody's natural, but just to take care of your hair to keep it healthy, whether it's from oils to creams to gels, like it's all kinds of different hair products. So I would start there. I do want to specialize in natural hair because there's not really many people that do that. So if it's more than one person, then they got more than one person to go to for that. Um, I also like to braid. So to nourish your hair before braiding styles, after, how to take them down properly, whether it's you doing it or someone else just to keep your hair hydrated versus summer and winter, because that's a different process, even though it sounds crazy.
Right.
um, how often you should be washing your hair, just little things like that. So I would love to broadcast that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, see, that's what the difference. You think about Black-owned businesses versus Black targeted businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Black targeted is our companies that are majority owned. When I say majority, white owned, and they're usually the bigger companies, and so they have divisions that target Black people or target people of color, and that usually, for the most part, they do a little bit of research, but they're not really rooted in the community. They don't have roots, they don't have experience, but they have a lot of money to market to those markets and to make it look like, oh, this is really Black. No, not really.
Yep.
And usually Black owned, we found those people are really rooted in what they believe in because they have been serving, they have been living it, and understand exactly the things that you're saying. And so that to me is why I really push you guys to think, to learn from people who are doing it, but then to understand, I can do this, I can run this, I'm just as smart as these other people. So, so when you think about that, what I just said about Black owned, Black targeted, but even the concept of, I can do this. Like, have you ever thought in your mind when you think about, when you look at the beauty industry, is there ever like a hesitation or thought that, oh, I don't know if I can do what they doing, or, thoughts like that when you look at the industry?
All the time. I did want to, like, I mean, I would love to put my input or interest in hair, like products, but I don't have the patience. Like, I can be like, oh, this is good for you and this is good for you. And then like make a hair product. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I really want to do that, but I do at the same time. So that, and then I see so many other Black owned like hairlines and I'm like, oh, those reviews look nice. Or I might try them out and I'm like, oh, this really works. Like, so I'd rather promote sometimes too. Like to me, it's okay to promote. Maybe, well, not maybe, I'm gonna stop using that word. One day I'm gonna get my salon and then I can say, hey, do you want to bring your products into my salon that I can sell them out of there? Like just things like that. Hairstyles all over like Atlanta and from Chicago, just everywhere. They do all kinds of hairstyles. And I'm like, I don't think I can do that just that well. But then I have to sit down and think like hairstylists learn from each other every day, no matter how good they are or how bad they are, or if they're learning or what. So every day is really just a learning progress and you just got to make it your own. That's how you get people to come to you. You have to be unique in what you do. So that's
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So while we're talking about Black owned, are there um so why don't you just give us some? Like, give us, who are you talked about Tori with Honey Dip. Who are some other uh, Black owned salons, hair care, people that you know about, or even what are some Black targeted that you think are good, or line three, some that are not even necessarily for Black people, but it's still good for, as far as beauty products, hair products. Give us some. What do you use?
The products I use, there it's a bunch, but I use Cantu. Um, I use Mixed Chick. I use Maui. And for my gel, it just depends on what style I'm trying to achieve, but I do use Eco Gel as well. So I guess for me, it really just all depends on the style and what my hair needs at the time. Um, I also use a product, it's called, I think it's Afro G. It's a protein type of treatment thing. But I do want to try a lot more of different products, but I'm just always nervous on how it's going to react to my hair. So I
Be
really just
brave,
look
be
on.
brave.
I know. I had to get over that too. It's just hair. I finally dyed my hair blonde. I was terrified to do that. So I guess I can do anything now.
Right.
But yeah, so I guess it's just a trial and error. Just what your hair needs, you try it. Like my sister Destiny, she's got like 4C hair, so she could use one product for a week, and then the next week her hair would be like, no, I don't want it. So
Right.
it just all depends on what your hair needs at the time.
When you like giving advice to your people's hair that you done or your sisters or whoever, where do you tell them to go to get the stuff that you use?
It depends. Some of the stuff I can find at Sally's. Some of the stuff I can find at just like CVS, Walmart, just a local store. And then some stuff you got to dig a little deeper. You might have to go to the actual site, or my favorite spot is Amazon. I get everything from Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it all just depends on what you're looking for and in what bulk. Cause like I like to buy bulk of things, so I have it, and it's a lot of women in my house, so they'll be gone if I buy the one from Walmart. So I like to get the big bulk, so I usually buy it from Amazon or wherever sells it.
Yeah. So Damore is gonna have a series coming up called Be Brave, and she gonna continue this Be Brave, and she gonna share with us some products where she had to be brave, like dyeing her hair blonde. How did you even get yourself to muster up the courage to be brave enough to do it?
That was, yeah. I literally was like purple before this, and I sat in my chair, and I sat in my sister-in-law's chair, and I said, you know what? I wanted like a kind of like a caramel color. And she was like, you know, you got to bleach your hair. And I was like, stylist to stylist, I do know. I was like, you sure I can't just do it without? And she was like, no. So I'm like, okay, I'm going all in. I want dark roots. I want blonde ends. Let's go. She colored it. It lifted so quickly. It was platinum. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, it's no turning back now. No turning back. We put the color on it. Within a week, it had washed all out. And now I'm just blonde. So I was like, well, I guess I can go any color at this point.
Right.
But it was terrifying. I was like, my hair is going to fall out. It's not going to grow back. Like, I was, yeah. It took a lot.
Right.
I was, yeah.
Oh man. So you just got sometimes you just gotta dive in there. You gotta dive in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Okay. So right now, we have talked about Black targeted, Black owned. We've talked about some of the things that you want to do. What have you developed a plan?
Yes, I developed a plan in high school.
Okay, tell us about that. Oh, this is good. Tell us what
Yeah.
that plan was in high school. Tell us.
So in high school, they had us started doing things like that. I even have a like sketch it of what I want to be in my salon and what I want it to look like. Um, and then I have my estimate pricings, but of course those will probably change now. Um, I have like a inkling of a location. Like I don't want to leave it out of Port Huron. I always, even if I move out of Michigan, I would still love to have a salon here. Like this is where I started, that came from. Like that's what I always wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But just in a central area, more so like a downtown thing, because like we're trying to build downtown up. So why not put another salon down there?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but I just wanted to specialize more in kids too. I feel like there needs to be a kind of like a salon dedicated to kids. They can come in, they don't have to worry about the pressure of oh, I need to get up and go to the bathroom, or my head hurts, or if they fall asleep during getting their hair done. Like, I just wanted to be comfortable because I know as a kid I hated getting my hair done. And then for like children with disabilities, one that I've seen a lot on like TikTok and stuff for like kids with autism. They don't, some of them don't like the hair on them. So like they move or they just cry, like it's a sensory thing. So I would love to help them out so they have somewhere to go and feel comfortable, like fun, playful barbers to be in there to be able to handle them, or stylists, whoever, but just something like that, a friendly salon.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So do you still physically have the plan?
I do. I just looked at it like a week ago
Oh,
and I had found it.
you have to take a picture of it and send it to me.
Yeah, I was like, I made that. And I'm like, a couple things I might take out or a couple
Right,
things I might change, but for the most part, I still feel the same about it.
right. So this is good. So when you were writing that plan, how long did you think it would take you to get from that plan to actuality? And what has, so when you think about it, are you there? What is sides, what was it, the fear stuff that got you off, or it's just time, life, tell me, so people that are watching this, when they make plans, like things that can sidetrack you, or it just takes time. It just takes time. It's not that you even got sidetracked.
So I feel like getting closer, but I felt like I wasn't gonna reach it for a while, like maybe 35. I always leave enough room so if I reach my goal earlier, I can say, oh, see, look, I just overestimated.
Right.
But I can definitely say life always can get in the way. So I would just say prepare for the unexpected, because you never know, whether it's a new life you bring into the world, whether it's you lost a job trying to get to your goal, whatever is in the way. You got class and you don't have a car or any transportation, whatever it is, just expect something to happen. You don't want to be negative, so I'm not saying wait on it and be negative, but stuff happens. Keep going, find a way around it. It's okay if you had to cry about it and get it out and be like, okay, now let's go, we're back on the grind. So
Right.
that's what I would have to say about that one.
Right. All right. So we gonna start winding this conversation down. Do you have any questions for me?
So
Okay.
as a dad having a young daughter,
Mm-hmm.
um when you started to see like the different racial things going on, did it like worry you as a dad, or did it like make you think like, what can I do to help her with that issue, or maybe like make her to see that it's okay to like the white dolls and the black dolls, or like it's okay to love your skin, period, and be you? What did you
Yeah,
feel about that?
yeah. So it didn't worry me, but it put me in overdrive. I was already working at most of the stuff. Like when it comes to race and color and stuff, I'm on that, but I'm not a person like you. Not gonna see me in the streets protesting. I'm not against it. I think it's
Mhm.
necessary, but my part in it is just to get in there and make people realize who they are. Help Black people, help people who people underestimate, and say, we gonna do this, you gonna do this. And that's my way to fight against the system, because I'm a youth pastor. And so one of the things I say, I want heaven to be on earth. And there's racism in earth. Okay, so now back to my daughter. So what that means made me do, it did make me say, you're beautiful. Look at that doll. I just really started talking to her. I wasn't necessarily trying to make her have something. I started talking to her about it. What? Why you like that doll more than that doll? That doll looks like yours. Your skin is beautiful, right? So things like that. One, just talking to her, but then it put me in overdrive for you guys. So for what it did for me, it made me one, you start talking to her more about it, but two, it made me get even more aggressive for women's rights and to get more Black women in front of her who are pursuing it. Because that's the key. That's one of the biggest things. You can't. It's hard to find. It's too hard to find. Positive influences on TV, on and just out in the public in general. And I was always for women. I was never. I felt that I was never. Tiffany probably at times has something different to say, but that I was chauvinist or things like that. But I wasn't pushing hard, right? But when I saw that with her, when I had it, I was like, oh, I'm about to push hard. I'm about to start speaking up and saying it everywhere because I can't have her fighting this stuff that I should be fighting. She's gonna have to fight her own battle, but I got to break some ground.
Yeah.
So that's what it did for me as a dad.
That's good. That's good.
Okay, so the last one, 2 questions for you. The first one is, what would you say to yourself 5 years ago? And then the last one is, what do you say to your future self?
Whew, 5 years ago. I don't even know how old. Oh, I was 20. So I would definitely tell myself 5 years ago to don't settle for failing. Move past it. Take that test again, no matter who's offering it to you. If they're offering it to you, take the money and run. Go take that test. And don't waste all your time partying. I did party a lot. I could say I could have done more. I know I was being young, but I would say be more focused on your goal, and then you can have fun. And my future self, just keep pushing and never let that fear come in front of you anymore. I know he still be creeping up talking about can you? And I'd be like, yeah, I can do it. Now, sometimes I might be like, I don't know. And then I just have to make myself do it, even though I still feel that way. Because if I don't, then I feel like I'm just going to be back to where I started. So that my future self, I just say, keep pushing and to be the best example I can be to my daughter. So that's what I would say.
All right. That's good stuff. Thank you so much for doing this interview. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Please look for more from Miss Damore. Go on the Hope and Future page. Check out some of her videos. I Slay was in dialogue with 3D. And just be on the lookout for Miss Damore Beauty Highlights coming near you. Looking for her salon coming near you. It's coming. Miss Damore is coming, and she's about to change the culture. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in.